Each morning in Baton Rouge, we rise to meet opportunity. We carry the weight of responsibility proudly. We choose our paths. We move fast and we fly high. We light the way for others to follow. We make it happen. But what really matters is what happens when we land at home. Baton Rouge Metropolitan Airport. Fly easy.
This is Inside the Jaguar Nation, presented by Russell Law Firm.
Welcome to Inside the Jaguar Nation. I'm Aaron Lee alongside Ashley Lyotis. And Ashley, it's the SWAC tournament time, and this show is locked and loaded with all your action.
Yeah, that's right, Aaron. The men and women's teams both open up the tournament at home, and the Jaguars got 2 wins on the night. Next up, though, Houston.
That's right, Ashley. This past Thursday, the Lady Jaguars left for Houston. Here's a glance at them getting ready, getting on the bus, got their bags, drinks, and all ready to go. They were focused and ready, and it showed the very next day. All right, they took on the #1 seeded Lady Jags and the #4 Preview Panthers on Friday, and it was the Brianna Green show. She had a monster night, finished with 31 points, but also we have to highlight Dominique Newman from the Panthers, who had 27 points on the night. Hey, she gave Brianna some competition, but the Lady Jaguars came out with the victory, 84-76, and now they move on to the SWAC championship. And let's get to that. It's Brianna Green versus Shakyla Hill, and right here she gets it started for the 2. That would be 2 of her 22 on the night, but Shakyla Hill was all over the court with that nice lay-in. And here, right before halftime, it's Samantha Duncan throwing it up and knocking it down. The Jaguars are up at the half, 39-37. Ashley?
Then second half, Hill turns it up and hits a big 3 to put Grambling up late. Last chance for the Lady Jags here. Skylar Bear going to turn it over to Justice Coleman, seals it up for the win with a layup. Southern falls to Grambling State, 72-68.
I didn't think we did a very good job defensively today. I thought we stood and watched Shakyla Hill play basketball. I thought we had our opportunities. We weren't clean on our screens. We weren't solid on our cuts. We just were really discombobulated. I was not happy with our overall effort today at all in terms of our execution and especially on the defensive end. You know, we're a better basketball team than we showed today. And, you know, when you come to championship play, you got to show up and more importantly, you got to step up and play. And I didn't think we did a very good job of that.
Yes, it was so unfortunate yesterday for the Lady Jaguars, but here, let's look at some final stats. Brianna Green finished with 22 points. Samantha Duncan, she finished with 12 points, the 2 seniors, but it was Shakyla Hill for the Grambling Tigers, 27 points, 10 rebounds, 5 assists, and 3 steals. Here's where it hurt the Jaguars. Behind the arc shooting, 3-point percentage, only 21%. Like I said, it was a sad moment yesterday for the Lady Jaguars, but we're wishing them all the best in the future. Now let's move on to the men that also competed in the SWAC tournament this past weekend. Southern taking on #1 Pine Bluff, and the man in the middle, Big Jerry Sand, would get it started. He would have 13 on the night, but here's Eddie Reese knocking down that 3. He would have 17, and the Jags will be up 30-27 at the break. Hey, but it's Mitchell over here for the Golden Lions that took away the game for the Jaguars. But they still fought back in this one. But it was McKnight again with the fadeaway, looking like Jordan, and the Jaguars would fall in this one to Arkansas Pine Bluff.
It was amazing. You know, I love everybody in that team, in their locker room, and it was a great run. Sad it had to come to the end this early, but being 4 years here, you know, go Jags, it had been one of the best decisions I made in my life. Like I say, I grew up in Baton Rouge, family right down the street, go home, get a home cooked meal, take over Chris over there sometimes, Q, whoever want to come. But it was amazing, you know, always there. They always be at every game supporting me too, so, you know, you need that little support every now and then.
Yeah, that was sad, but bringing some good news, Human Jukebox, always bringing us the sweet sounds, and it's time for our very first break. Hey, coming up later on the show, we bring you some football as always, and it's the man that everybody loves.
Yeah, but first, a crosstown matchup. LSU taking on Southern at Alex Box Stadium. We're going to hear from both coaches after this epic game.
You're watching Inside the Jaguar Nation, presented by Russell Law Firm, with Brian Holland, Morgan Beard, Ashley Lyotis, and Aaron Lee.
Welcome back to Inside the Jaguar Nation. I'm Aaron Lee alongside Ashley Lyotis. And before we move on, I want to tip my hat to the Lady Jaguars on an incredible season, Ashley.
Yeah, Aaron. The Jags fought hard all season long, and no one expected them to even be in the championship.
Yeah, that's right. And even more important, I have to highlight their class that they showed after the loss. And even though they were hurt, the two seniors still spoke with me, and I truly appreciate that. So for this week's Performers of the Week is the two seniors, Brianna Green and Samantha Duncan. I'm here with Brianna Green and Samantha Duncan, two seniors for the Southern Jaguars. And Brianna, just explain your time over here, being at Southern, playing in this championship game, and the things you want to leave to the fans and the campus and the coaches.
I mean, first off, I want to say thank you to Coach P for giving me the opportunity to come here to Southern, just play this game. I want to thank all the fans that came out and, supported us day in and day out. I want to thank everybody that was always there for us, that never doubted us, but, we came up short like we did. But, I'm confident that, the team that's coming behind us, that's coming behind me and Sam, that'll be, that they'll be here next year, with anybody who they're bringing in. I just hope they're ready to work because, I hope and pray that, my teammates are here, come next year and they're able to cut down some nets.
All right, Sam, same question.
I want to thank Coach Pugh and Coach Funches for coming to my house and believing in me to come to this program. It's been a great year here. I've been here for 2 years, and I'm just grateful for the teammates that I've had, and they also believe in me. And wish we could have bought the championship back, but I know next year they'll be right back in this position, so I hope they'll be able to get the dub.
All right, thanks a lot, young ladies. Southern Jaguars, two great seniors, two great careers. That's all I have here from Houston.
All right, thanks, Aaron. To the diamond we go. Game 1, the Southern men's baseball team rallied from behind to beat Texas Southern 9-8. Could they do it again in Game 2? Top of 2, Jacob Snyder on the mound strikes out Ricky Urbano to end the inning. Texas Southern, though, leads 1-0. Bottom of the second, Southern trying to get runs in scoring position. Xavier Moore able to steal a second, but he would be left stranded. Top of 3, 1 on for TSU. Jose Cabrera with the perfect bunt, making it 2-0 Texas Southern. Same inning, though. Christian Sanchez deep to left center, his second solo home run of the game. Texas Southern would lead 3-0 at that point. The final, Texas Southern wins 8-1. Game 3 canceled for rain. Now let's look back at last week's crosstown clash between the Jags and the LSU Tigers at Alex Box Stadium. LSU honored Roger Cador over the decades. 900 wins on the Bluff. 3 legends right there you saw. To the game, LSU up 2-0 in the fourth. Duplantis, he connects, throwing air at first, and Hughes going to score here, 3-0. The Tigers. Duplantis on second. Watson makes his return. Good news for Tiger fans because of stuff like that. Yeah, he will drive home Duplantis from second, but Southern gonna make something happen in the 5th. Javalen Williams stole second, then he steals third, and then a wild pitch by Cam Sanders turns into a play at the plate. He gets there safely, but LSU does go on to win 8-2.
Southern has they're an improved team, and I think Carrick's doing a really nice job, and they're very well coached, and they were tough outs, so he had to earn those strikeouts that he got tonight.
It's also an opportunity for us to kind of test ourselves to see where we match up when you have Coach Maneri, who's had some success, and be able to bounce ideas off of them and be able to talk to our guys about things that they do correctly. But at the end of the day, you hate that competition part of it because you don't want it to get ugly, you don't want it to get out of hand, but when it's good, clean competition, it ends up being okay.
All right, let's look a little bit of the softball update here for the Lady Jags. Look, they competed in the HBCU Showdown this past weekend. They had a doubleheader Saturday, March 10th. The first one was against North Carolina Central, which they lost 3-0, but they came back and got the W versus Savannah State 10-7. And sticking with W's, you know who always gets the W, Ashley? It's that human jukebox, bringing us those sounds as they do each week. Well, coming up next, we honor the Lady Jaguars again. Their awards on the bluff were Coach Pugh and Brianna Green.
Yes, and Southern's first athlete at the NFL Combine since the 90s. We're talking all about Danny Johnson next.
This is Inside the Jaguar Nation, presented by Russell Law Firm.
Well, as basketball wraps up, Aaron, softball and baseball, they get underway. Here's Morgan Beard with a look at what's coming up on the Bluff this week.
Thanks, guys. As I say every week, I'm starting to sound like a broken record. A busy time on the Bluff. Let's bust out that calendar and show you what's ahead for Southern Athletics. And of course, we start up with softball here Wednesday, March 14th versus Mississippi State at 3 p.m. Then it's a 3-game road trip at Alabama State Friday, Saturday, the 16th to the 17th, 6 p.m., 1 p.m., and 3 p.m. And then as we go along in baseball, Tuesday, March 13th at New Orleans for a battle with UNO at 6:30 p.m. Then on Friday, Grambling State. You know, it doesn't matter what sport it is, it's going to be intense. They get it going versus the Tigers at 6 o'clock. And then on Saturday, Grambling State again before 2 weeks from now, March 16th versus ULL Lafayette. Time to be announced. But Southern taking a little state trip here. And then we go to women's tennis. It's going to be the SWAC Conference all-day event Friday, March 16th, and it's the same starting at 2 o'clock on Saturday. So we have all kinds of stuff going on from baseball, softball, and, of course, tennis. And the basketball, well, we know how that ended up. Hey, for your SU calendar, I'm Morgan Beard. Back to you guys.
All right, great stuff, Morgan. Number one on the field and number one in your heart, Speedy Corner. Southern's own Danny Johnson participated in the NFL Combine last week. Johnson clocked in a 4.4440 that the NFL Network's Mike Mayock was singing his praises. In 2017, for the Johnson recorded 12 pass breakups, 3 interceptions, and 2 of those pick sixes. He's projected to be a 3rd to 5th round pick. And staying with football, this past week the NFL aired a documentary to showcase HBCUs and former athletes. Among those was Southern University and former safety and cornerback Mel Blount. He was a featured Jaguar. He's a 4-time Super Bowl champion, 5-time Pro Bowler, and he's a part of the Louisiana Sports Hall of Fame. Another person a part of that Hall of Fame is that human jukebox. Can't get enough of them. Coming up later in the show, we have a Baton Rouge native coming back home.
Yeah, and some major honors being handed out on the Bluff. We're going to talk about it all coming up next.
This is Inside the Jaguar Nation, presented by Russell Law Firm.
Welcome back to Inside the Jaguar Nation. I'm Aaron Lee. She's Ashley Lyotis. And it was a tough week for the women's basketball team in Houston. But not all was lost last week.
Yeah, and they got some pretty high honors over last week over there on the Bluff. The league announcing last Monday that Southern women's basketball coach Sandy Pugh was the SWAC head coach of the year. And of course, her Brianna Green also getting Conference Defensive Player of the Year. Now, for Pugh, she led Southern to the first outright conference title since, get this, 2013, and Green anchored down a defense that allowed the second fewest points per game in the conference.
When I found out that I was defensive player, I was truly shocked. Because I thought, you know, like my teammate Sarah Blissett, for example, like she blocks a lot of shots. She always there on help side. So I truly thought she was going to get it when it came to defensive player of the year in the conference. But, I mean, I'm grateful, I'm humble, I'm blessed.
Anytime your colleagues think enough about you and something that you've done to nominate or vote you, you're always appreciative and humble. So I definitely want to thank them.
It's good to look back at some great news, and as always, Humi Jukebox getting low. Coming up next, I'm on, wipe me down, I'm on, wipe me down.
Sing it, Aaron.
We'll be right back with more Inside the Jaguar Nation.
This is Inside the Jaguar Nation, presented by Russell Law Firm.
Welcome back to Inside the Jaguar Nation. I'm Ashley Leotis. He's Aaron Lee. And Aaron, it was bumping on the Bluff.
Ashley, it was more than bumping on the Bluff when the Baton Rouge native Boosie shuts it down for the city. Look, this past Saturday, Boosie Bash went down on the Bluff yesterday, and we wanted to show the hometown rapper as he performed at the Mini Dome on the campus of Southern University. The event was put on by Boosie Production and Perfect 10 Productions. It featured a lot of local artists as well. Now, let's take a look back at this Grambling and Southern game. I want to highlight this again. Like I said, the Lady Jaguars had a great season, and despite them losing, let's not end on a bad note. I want to highlight Brianna Green, who's been the team leader all this season. She's been doing great. She's looking to play professionally. I'm just wishing her the best. And Samantha Duncan, who came from JUCO, came to Southern, and has had an outstanding career as well. But Shakyla Hill, great player on the SWAC, MVP of the tournament, was too much for them. But like I said, Pugh and the team have to honor their class, their sportsmanship on this way out. And Ashley, like I said, I was there in Houston, and it was sad to see. It was very sad to see.
It looks pretty emotional.
And like I said, I wish them the best. Next season, Coach Shandy Pugh is already looking for the WNIT, which they will compete in next week. So I just hope that they can, you know, end on a positive note. Brianna and them can win a couple of games, maybe win the WNIT.
And we'll find that out who they're going to play.
We'll find that out tomorrow on Selection Monday as well. So wishing the team all the best in that tournament, and they do get to play in postseason.
All right, thanks, Aaron, and thanks for joining us this week on Inside the Jaguar Nation. We'll, of course, have more next week. See you then.